After this checking?
After this, they let us go back to in the night. It was night already. 300 women with one soldier home. I went with my mother-in-law, and we did not know what happened with the men. They were in another room. They were checked. They were beaten. They were then after that the next day they went to the police station, and there when we came there in the morning to see what is about them, we heard crying from the open windows, and the other women, they stayed there, told us that they are beaten and they are foltered because they would know about the Russians. And then they were a man, a commissary, a police commissary, went out Onchul, his name, and with a big like for the horses, you know.
Yeah.
and beat us. And then they were deported to an asylum in the town, and let them 3 days there without water, without nourishing. And in the time, in our house came a Romanian officer, a big officer, and all the Jewish women from this house took some jewelry, some watches, something on a silver plate, and went to him, and asked him to let out our men, and so he did, and so my husband come free. Mm-hmm. And that was after a week.
So it was all a matter of plundering.
No,
they wanted money.
Yeah,
they wanted
money. Yes, but we had not money. From after the Russian, we had no money.
Mm-hmm.
And so after a week, the Germans SS shut the street from both sides, and came with a porter, you know, in every was in every apartment house were Ukrainian porter, you know. With the porter, where are Jews? Open the door. The men must come with us, and they took all the men from the. I gave I lit in the pocket of my husband his diploma from engineer diploma. And they went away in this big cars, and went directly to this casino where a week ago were taken Dr. Mark and all the Jews, and then deported to the wood and shot. And I asked to the daughter of the family which was with us. Her father was also taken. Let us go to there it was rainy, so, and I took my Fulgarin, and we went after the big cars, and really they went there. They were there, and they were put in a big room, 400 Jews. Outside were very many people outside, because they took from other parts also, from other streets. Mm-hmm. And then on the first hours they let out some Jews, some intellectual and some worker. Engineers, physician, handworker, you know, they let out, and then stop until after an hour they stopped, and we did not know what happened, and I stood near the door of this big house, and the door is opened, and a German officer come out, and I went to him. I don't know why, because I did not know what grade it is, because I never knew about. And I told him, Mr. Officer, can you tell me what will happen with the Jews, with the men who are here? And he, at these words, Mr. Officer, I told him, in German. And he asked, I'm from the flight, I'm a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't sell you. Maybe they will be taken to the bridge to rebuild the bridge, the bombed bridge, you know, exploded bridge. Went away, and all the people told me, "How dare you to speak to a German officer? What you are crazy?" Oh, nothing. Nobody come out. And we went home, and I thought, what can we do? What can I do? I was a very fancy girl, you know, with 22 years old. I was very fantasy. And so I decided to go to the Obersturmbannführer, Major Finger. He was the biggest German man in Czernowitz. And I took also my Fulgarin and told to this girl, come with me, without star. And
oh, you didn't mention before that you went with
I
star.
don't know if then was a star, no, or a day after that was a star, or a day before that. I don't not yet know. I don't remember. And they took me, and we went there, and there were somebody there, some relatives from the 400 men there inside that, and they told me, I stayed there, and it opened the door, and no, it was not so. No, thank you. Excuse me. It was. I went to the Schwarze Adler. It was a big hotel where the Oberkommandatur, the German Oberkommandatur, was, and I asked to speak to the officer, to Obersturmbannführer Finger. And he told me, no, he's a session now, he couldn't. So I will wait. And we went and went there and there and there, up and then. And suddenly came on the corner this officer that I spoke to him in the morning. And he went by us and then returned and looked at me and asked me, whom have you there in this casino? And I told him, my husband. He looked at me and what is your name? I give him the name, and what is what is doing here?
Position.
Yes, and I told he's an engineer from the German faculty from Prague.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he told me, so in Prague, he studied in Prague? Very well. I will see what can I do for you. And he entered in this big, he came not back, wait here, he told me. He came not back after an hour and a half, and we went home. The whole night we heard shouting. We did not know if our men are alive or not. And in the morning we went to this casino. We heard they all are alive. We did not know why they are not. They were not shut like in the others, in the other week, you know. And the door opened, and like Deus ex machina appeared this German officer. And he looked around and told me to come near. And I was not very, very, very funny, you know. I was not sensing very well because I was already another. It was not like the crowd of the others, you know. And he told me, your husband is alive, and now come with me. I did not know where. I did not ask him where to go with him. But in my head, you know, I thought, no, a young officer, he would like to go to bed with me, no? And on the way, he told his name. His name was Klaus Geppert. He is lieutenant, and from the Luftwaffe, from the air float, and he wished to help me. Okay. He brought me in a big room. There are sitting on writing tables, maybe 20 soldiers, 20 German soldiers. All are staying up until Heil Hitler. You can imagine how I felt, you know. And then he came to a door, knocked on the door, and opened. There was herein, darling, come in. And I came in. It was a little room, half of this room, a bureau, semi-dark, and an old officer, air officer, sat on a table. He was burnt. His face was burnt. His hand was burnt, and he stand up and told me, "Guten Tag. Hi, how are you? Sit down." I could not sit down. I sit down on a part of my. And he told me, I am Oberst Meirich. I'm from Vienna. In this war, I was burned in the First World War in my aeroplane. And in this war, I already lost my son and my son-in-law. Everywhere where I came, I helped the Jews. I had very many Jews friends. And now I will help you. I will help your husband and his friends to come out. Some what I can do. I know that he's engineer. He speaks German and Russian and other languages. So he will work with us as a
interpreter.
Dolmetscher.
Interpreter. Dolmetscher, yes.
Dolmetscher, yes, no.
Translator.
Translator, yes, translator. And he will, as we stay here, he will work here. When we are going further to Russia, he will come with us. Oh, I said, what did you say? He will come with us, with you? I said, yes. You prefer to remain here and to be shot? I told nothing, and then he told me, you know, it is a very nice idea. He will go with us to Caucasus. We are passing Caucasus to Syria. We are coming to Palestine, and there we let him go, and we will unify us with the army of Rommel. It's a very nice idea. And you will come then there to Palestine. Oh, thank you. I told him. I could do nothing. I could not say what to do. And so I went up and I said, thank you very much. Will not pay a visit to us? It, no, I'm already known as Juden, verjudet. Because I help, where I am coming, I help for the Jews. And I went back. I went through this large room, and they all stood up for me for like a Jew. They did not know that I am a Jew. And then the ordinance of the officer of Mr. Geppert, of the lieutenant, asked me to come up to him. And I know what can I do now? And I came up, and he was raising his face, and he excuses that it's not on his uniform, and sit down and so on. And will you come to this evening? We have a party in our casino with your friend. Come there. I said to him, no, I don't know. I don't think that it's a very good idea, not for you and not for me. And so he said, okay. I wish to explain you something. I am an engineer from the Deutsche Technische Hochschule from Prague. Mm. I ended in the same year like your husband ended the university. And as you are very sympathetic for me in the first when I saw you, and then as you told me that your husband were student there and electro engineer, I feel that I must help him a mate from my university. I am from Sudetendeutschland, and I'm an engineer, and I'm not a officer by
SS?
Yes, I am only not for the war taken.
Wehrmacht?
Taken for the he's an engineer.
Okay, but he was in Wehrmacht?
Yes, in Wehrmacht, yes. Mm-hmm. And so I take goodbye, and I said to him goodbye, and I came back, and in that night, he came to the big casino with two SS and asked my husband if the name of some professor from the university, because he was proof that it was right that I did not tell him so. And afterwards, when my husband come back, when we met also home, he told me all the thing how it was. They came in, and he saw that it was that somebody, he was a spy, and he will be hanged, and it is something like that. You know, it is a long story. But he worked some 3 days, and his two friends, they worked 3 days on translations from Russian to German. And then this Meyrich, the officer, the big officer, called him and told him, you know, that I did for your safe, that I could not say to the Obersturmbannführer that I will take you out. So I have this to pretend that you are working with us, and so you are going home, and all is okay. They went away after 7 days, and this Mr. Geppert come to us and brought us bread and savon and soap and was like a very, very good friend. Mm-hmm. That is the one of my.
So this is the. And then you went home, and
I went home. My husband was already home.
Okay.
And he told us how it was there, and that is a long story. I will send you.
We got an idea, yes, and
after that, the German remains, and after that was limited the outgoing. You know, we had the star, the yellow star. All the 3 years we waited. We have the star, and the ghetto was installed. it was the head of the measure of Chernovitz, of the town hall, was Dr. Popovich. You know it about him.
Yes.
And Mrs. Popovich, Stella Popovich, was a good friend of my mother-in-law. And she told us some days ago that it will be installed, the ghetto. But his husband fought against the ghetto. He would like to, he told to the Germans that he must study how they are making the ghetto in Poland and so on. But one day he must, on the 10th of October, it was settled the
10th of October, 41?
41, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was built the ghetto. It was such a big, from woody, from wood around the ghetto. It was some street like the Jewish quarter, and Landhausgasse, Schulgasse. There are some. Where we are living, was not the ghetto. So we must go away from our home, and took some rucksack and some pillows and so, and we went to a friend of my mother-in-law, a friend, and they gave us a one room, but not alone, because there are another two family in the room.
Mm-hmm.
We put such a chair on the middle and a petroleum lamp, and on this we have some what we are doing in the ghetto. And in the ghetto, where also my mother was also damaged, because our house was also not in the ghetto. They came to Dr. Schwarzkopf in the Stephaniegasse, and but inside the ghetto we could move, And inside the ghetto were two markets. The Christians are allowed to come to the market, but they will not take money. They will only clothes, and two bakery for bread that installed Dr. Popovich. He was a gentleman for the Jews. Meahus.
He was a district director, or how do you say that?
No, he was the mayor in the town hall.
Uh-huh. Like
the
a mayor.
Bürgermeister.
Like a mayor.
Like a mayor,
Yes.
a mayor.
A mayor.
The mayor is mayor,
Yes.
the mayor of the town, yes. And my grandmother was 82 years old, 81 years old, and my uncle took her to the hospital, to the Jewish hospital, let her there.
The Jewish hospital was also in the ghetto?
Was also in the ghetto, yes.
So you have a Jewish hospital?
Yes, we had the
You
Jewish
have
hospital.
2 markets?
Yes.
You have a bakery?
Yes, bakery.
What else did you have?
And from the bank, from the Romanian bank, was there to
a filiale.
A filiale, yes, to bring the silver and the jewelry and the currency, dollar, and if you have, you can change. You must change it for money, for lei.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And very many Jews did it. Many did not. And then they were deported to Transnistria, and from the ghetto began the transport to Transnistria and to the camps, to the Dniester, to
Mogilev.
To Mogilev. But before the Mogilev, there was such a mess there.
Yes.
And first the Jews from the little towns were put in the synagogue, and they burned them in the synagogue.
In the synagogue. The
And
synagogue was also in the ghetto?
In Chernovitz, yes, it was in the first day. In the day when
this
Dr. Mark
before,
was arrested, they brought him to the synagogue, to the big temple in the synagogue, the Tempelgasse, the big temple, and lighted on, and the Torah was there, burned, and he saw that return. Now it is a cinematheca there, you know, in Czernowitz, in the temple, in the
And
big
what
synagogue.
was with you and your family?
My family, on after the ghetto, from the ghetto, my uncle was in the presidium from the Jewish,
Judenrat?
Judenrat, yes, yes. And
So there was a Judenrat.
it was not a Judenrat. It was like a Judenrat. It was not. They did not list. They asked to do list for the deportation, but they did not list. And then they, in the first days of the ghetto, many of them they came with cars, with horses, you know, to put the on the Jewish quarter, on the ghetto, to put the luggage there and to go to the station, to the railway station. From there, there were prepared already wagons for Transnistrian, and they put the Jews 100 in one wagon. It was like it is the same thing like to Auschwitz,
yes.
you know. And they arrived at the Dniester.
No, but maybe we stick with your story.
Yes, we went to the front and in the first days they made list of engineers in the school, list of engineers, of hand workers, of physicians, and so on. And after this list, they took away for deportation, you know, and. They gave from the gouvernement, from the military administration, they give L-Karte. That is authorization to remain in Czernowitz. I have mine, and I have for my husband.
Yes.
I will send it to you.
Okay.
They gave such an authorization for remaining in. It is a useful Jews, you know.
Yes.
For useful Jews, wirtschaftlich wertvolle Jude, like they have it.
What is in German?
In German, it's named wirtschaftlich wertvoller Jude.
Yeah. Okay.
It is imported for the well-doing, for the rebuild of the towns, for the factories, for the rebuild of the town. And from the ghetto, my husband was taken to, one day came a soldier and told him, "You are Brenner, come with us." Where? To the factory, to rebuild the factory. So he was taken from the third day, maybe, in the ghetto. I have the papers, all the papers, because it's written there, authorization to come from the ghetto to the factory for sugar factory, to rebuild the factory. The Jew Brenner Gottfried, only with Christian Begleiter, with Christian men, you know. He could not go alone. He must go with. I have this.
Okay.
And so he worked there. We were only 1 month in the ghetto, and then they dissolved the ghetto, and we come back to the apartment, and we stayed there with this family, which was also in Russian time, and until 1942, when they were deported to Transnistria. This family was deported to Transnistria, to Carriera. It's a big Carriera, you know, where the Carriera. They were there, and they had a son.
I mean, your husband went to Carriera?
No, this family, which was...
Okay, leave the other people. Speak about your family.
My husband works 3.5 years without paying there in the factory. Without payment.
This was a factory in Czernowitz?
The sugar factory. No, it is over the bridge to Zhuchka is named. Zhuchka, it is factory, sugar factory, and there he worked for 3.5 years. In the beginning, he was only allowed to go with a Christian man, you know, with a soldier, with that, and then they allowed to go. He went with a tramway to down
but
to the
he was
port.
sleeping at home.
But not every day. 6 weeks or 2 months, he must rest there for the campaign. You know, when the sugar is doing, he must stay there for 2 months without coming home.
And what was
I was home. I need something for the Romanian. They gave me wool, and I need for. Not for money, but for something to.
Yes.
And we sold what we have, all the silver things, and from my mother-in-law and all. She was
yes.
That was it.
So that's it.
That is
Yes.
until 44, when we were locked also in the home, because we dare not go out, because we did not know if they are shooting us, the German army which come back, you know. It was a dissolved army. You can't imagine it, how the army was. They looked for clothes, for civil clothes, because they would not go in uniform, you know, because they were afraid to be shot. And so they came into houses with arms, give me some food, some clothes, some men clothes. And so they were by my aunt also. They took all the clothes of my uncle, and once when the deportation were there in 42, they took my mother and my uncle and my aunt to the Maccabi Platz. It was a big place. There were amassed all the concentrated for deportation, and one lady which was in the rent an apartment and was a friend of my aunt. She came to the officer and told him, if they are going, I will go too, because when I fled from the Russian, they took all my things and gave me back. So and they hid me. If you will deport them, and he gave her a billet, and so my mother come back. It was marvelous, because it was not very often that who was on this place in the Maccabi Platz, they come back home.
Okay, so the war was over, actually.
The war was over. The Russian
German went, and the Russian came back. Yes.
The Russian came back. It was like the first year with the Russian. We worked for mostly a year, 8-9 months. We worked with the Russian, and we would like to go to Romania, to go away, and it was very, very difficult, because if you inscribe you on a list you will go away, you can go to Siberia, not to Romanian. And so we bought a propusc.
Laissez-passer?
It is to go away, to know, I don't know how to. Propus is it's in Russian. Like permission to go.
Permission to leave
the country.
Yes.
Yes. We bought it for 3,000 ruble. I don't know, 3,500 ruble, and they let us go. So it was some you know, it was adventure there with the going out, because we were by the NKVD, and he asked my husband if he went away with the permission of the director, and he told yes, and they gave the telephone to the. It wasn't some in some suitcase, not suitcase, some sort of wooden case. My mother-in-law put such a sink and a bag, you know, and a ring.
Some jewelry.
In inside, you know, and they took it was an announcement, and they took this and they cut it on and told us to he will be sent to Siberian and so on and so on. And a Jewish polkovnik, a Jewish officer came to him and told him, to my husband, don't worry. In Yiddish, dachte ihr darf nicht sein Bruiges, ihr wird nicht gehen zu Sibir, ihr wird gehen mit der Officer, mit der NKVDist on the car, on the machine, ihr wird gehen to Romania. And so it was. Because they are looking at that.
So you came to Romania, to Bucharest?
We came to Romania, to Bucharest. We stayed in Bucharest by engineer Jegendorf. You heard about him, Jegendorf. It was in Mogilev. He made the Turnatoria, the big factory where we're doing Jews. He was a friend of my mother-in-law, and we stayed at him some months, and then we had no job, and we did not know what to do. We had no affidavit to go to Palestine because we had no acquaintance here, no friends here, and so, and we did not know what to do. And then my husband get back his job from before in the oil refineries, in the oil fields, and we went to Boldesht. It's a little village. We stayed there 7 years, the only Jews there, and I worked some. I began to write, and I wrote in the newspaper. So, and the children come. We had a big house there from the and the garden, and so we stayed there 7 years, and then we went to Ploiești. My husband worked there, and I made a course of.
What was the name of the place? Where
Boldesht.
Boldesht?
Boldesht. Boldesht, yes.
Yes. So there you stay 7 years?
Yes.
And there you had 2 children?
I had children there in Ploiești, and
yes.
Yes,
and then
they were born
yes.
one was born in 47, one was born in 50. And then we managed to Ploiești. I made something. I went to the director from my husband, from the big boss, and I told him that I can't work there, and I must work, and I would give the children to a home, to the garden, and he gave me an apartment in Ploiești. So we managed to Ploiești, and I began to learn at Achot, sister, you know. And I made the school. I get a job in the physiotherapy without knowing, without being physiotherapist. And in the same time, I made the medical assistant school. In the afternoon, I made the school. In the morning, I worked. And then I made 1 year a course for physiotherapist. And I worked 25 years as physiotherapist in a hospital.
Yes.
So.
And then in 82 you came to Israel.
Yes, I came very late to Israel because I was so with my younger son, and I was the first on the list to come to in 50 to come to Israel. the brother of my husband came to Israel with his family. He worked in the Shragerut, in the embassy, in the Israel's embassy in Bucharest, and he came to Israel in the 50s, and we made to go for permission, to ask for permission, Every time we get no. This is for 40 years, it is no. And when my husband went to pension, to pension,
retire.
He for this purpose he would like to, because they told him, if you are working, he never was party in the Communist Party, never he nor I.
So you came to Israel in 82.
82.
With how many children?
Now my youngest son came alone in 80 to Israel. He worked at El Sint here. He get married after 2 years here to a girl also from Romania, who also come alone, and they met in Kfar Saba in the Merkaz Klita. And then when we came, they married. They make notes here in Kiryat Yam. We were in the Merkaz Klita in Kiryat Yam with my mother of 92. And so we were there 6 months. My mother died the last days before we went to Haifa. We had already an apartment. And you come here. I come to Fleeman, and I went to Fleeman for a job. They told me, no, your age, when you heard my age, it is too old. And so we did not, and after 3 years, we get a German rent, a little German rent.
Yes. And
So
you have only one son?
Two sons. One is here in engineer in at Hefrat Hashmal, and the other is went to America 18 years ago.
So you have grandchildren too?
Yes, I will show you.
We will see.
Very quick.
Okay.
They're my grandchildren.
Yes.
I have 3 boys.
Okay.
One is Hayal here in Haifa, here in Israel, and the others 2 are in America.
Well, we will like to thank you very much for your interesting story and for the fluent way you...
My English is not very fluent. My French is better, and the German is also better, and the Romanian too.
I understand that you speak many languages, but it is best in English, so everybody can understand.
Yes, thank you.
Well, we thank you very much, and we are going to see some pictures, and maybe you can add here and there something.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too. This is a book I wrote after the death of my husband. 4 years ago I began. It is a family book, a document about my family from the year 1840 until now. This is the first volume, and this is a diary from my grandmother, from my great-grandmother, from my grandmother, and from my mother. The second part of the book is my lived 20th century. This is a book about Jewish women artists. There are biographies, about 200 biographies about Jewish painters, sculptors, graphicians, ceramics, and all over the world. It is written in German, appeared in 1998 at Hartung und Gore Verlag in Konstanz, Germany, edited by Professor Dr. Erhard Wien. This is a family picture taken in 1924 when my uncle, the brother of my mother from Geneva, Switzerland, came for a visit, to pay a visit to my grandparents. They are the first in the first row is my father, then my mother, then my unmarried uncle Emil Feuerstein, then my aunt Bert Feuerstein, née Hellbein, from Russia, and my uncle Dr. Rudolf Feuerstein. In the second row, sitting is my grandmother, then it is me, 6 years old, my little cousin from Geneva, Georgette Pauline, and my grandfather.
Name?
Named Moritz Feuerstein. These are my grandparents, Leon Feuerstein and Fegale Fanny née Meisels. She came from a very, very Orthodox Jewish family from Galicia, and she went away from home because she loved my grandfather.
What were their names?
Her name is Fegale Fanny née Meisels. Meisels. She came from Galicia.
Yes, I
And
understand. But the grandfather's name?
The grandfather is Leon Feuerstein, not älter.
Feuerstein.
Feuerstein, they are all Feuersteins. And this is this is the son of Leon and Fanny Feuerstein, Moritz Feuerstein, my grandfather, the father of my mother, and his wife, Rosa, née Gruber. He came from Czernowitz, from Klokuchka, a suburb from Czernowitz, and she came from Leipzig. She was a circus rider, and her family had owned a circus in Leipzig. She came to Czernowitz for a presentation and for... Okay. These are my grandparents, Moritz and Rosa Feuerstein, with her 3 children, Rudolf, Friederika, and Emil, and a cousin from Leipzig. This is a house in the Albertinengasse 16. The house built by my grandparents, Rosa and Moritz Feuerstein, in 93, and then for one store, and then rebuilt in 1936, the second floor. I lived there until I went away to Ploiești, Czernowitz. This is Hedwig Langhaus, it's me, 4 years old. These are my parents, Dr. Adolf Langhaus and Friederike Langhaus, née Feuerstein, at their wedding in 1911 in Czernowitz. These are the high school, Liceul Fete numero 2 in Czernowitz. It is a girls' school, and this is the 8th class from the high school in 1966. After that, I made the baccalaureate. The bagot.
1936.
Pardon?
36.
36, what I did. 36, yes. And the fifth on the last road down that I am. That's me.
Okay.
This is my husband, engineer, diploma engineer, Gottfried Brenner, with me and our little grandson, Shachar, at the 50th anniversary of our wedding. This is my son, diploma engineer Michael Brenner, with his son Andrew. I believe it is 60 years. That's not important.
Okay.
This is Greti Brenner, my daughter-in-law, and Dan, the elder, and Andrew, the younger grandsons.
Okay.
This is my son Paul Brenner, diploma engineer. He worked on the Hevrat Hashmal, Haifa, and my daughter-in-law Angelika and her son Shachar, 19 years old.